بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. This is the penultimate ayah in this surah, and the great Allama Tabatabai says, after previous discussions about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his signs and how some people may neglect, may not benefit from these signs, in the end Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ending the surah with some general advice for the people to be pious, to have faith and piety. As you see, this is general advice because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't say, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, O those who believe. Rather, Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nas. And nas means people. So it's very general and inclusive way of addressing. It includes even the people who do not believe. Because it's not only that mu'mineen should become pious. Everyone must become pious. Indeed, those who do not believe in God, they need this advice more. So this is general advice. Ya ayyuhan nas. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ittaqu rabbakum. Sometimes people translate this as fear your Lord. But this is not the meaning of ittaqu. Ittaqu means protect yourself. And if I want to say ittaqu rabbakum, I may say protect yourself from doing something against your Lord. Make sure that you don't commit anything against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not a matter of fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a matter of being in control of ourselves. Because this is from the root wiqaya, and wiqaya means to keep, to control. Okay? For example, we have in this dua, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. What does قِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ mean? Doesn't mean frighten us from the punishment of hell. It means protect us from that punishment. قِنَا is from the same root. Or for example, we have Quran, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect yourself and your people, your family from fire. So, ittaqu rabbakum means to protect yourself, to do something against your Lord, to do something which makes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not pleased with you. And you can say be pious. وَاخْشَوْا يَوْمًا لَا يَجْزِي وَالِدٌ عَنْ وَلَدِهِ. Okay, you want to become pious, you want to be in control of yourself. So immediately after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us something which, in my understanding, this is not something extra to that. This is some way to achieve the first. How can you be pious? One of the best ways to be pious is to remember Akhirah. To remember the day in which neither a parent can be sufficient for his or her child, and nor the child can be sufficient. What I mean by sufficiency is to protect. Even in this dunya, you are not always able to protect. Sometimes, God forbids, a mother may see that her child is just going to have accident with the car and he or she is far. You cannot protect that child. What can you do? You may just shout, but sometimes there is no chance. Or sometimes, there is a disease, illness that you cannot prevent, you cannot, cure. So in this dunya also this is possible. But in akhirah, it's much clearer that if I have a good father or good mother, but I am myself not good person, they will not exempt me, they will not, release me by saying that you have good father. Indeed, the fact that I have good father and I am myself not good makes it even worse, because they have more expectation. So your father is good, why you are bad? So no one in akhirah can come and help you or replace you or Yes, of course we have shafa'ah, we have intercession. But intercession, first of all, is not for everyone. Intercession is for those with whom Allah is pleased. مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَشْفَعُ عِنْدَهُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. First of all, it needs permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First. Secondly, the one who has this shafa'ah, intercession, does not do it arbitrarily. There must be some sort of similarity, some sort of correspondence between these two people. The Prophet does not come and intercede for Abu Jahl or for Abu Lahab. There must be some sort of similarity. And this is why, for example, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, لا تنال شفاعتنا مستخفا بصلاته. Whoever treats his prayer without attention, without care, carelessly treats his prayer, will not be able to receive our shafa'ah. Okay? So shafa'ah also is, first of all, limited to some people. It's not that everyone can have shafa'ah. And secondly, it's based on some sort of similarity. So it means that you have done something, you yourself have done something to resemble that person. But then there may be some shortcomings. But if someone has done nothing, even the Prophet will not save that person. Imams will not save that person. So, Ya ayyuhan nasu ttaqu rabbakum wakhshaw yawman. Wakhshaw is from khashya. And khashya can be translated as fear, but it's a special kind of fear. Maybe we need some modification in the meaning of fear. Normally, there is a difference in Arabic between khawf and khashya. Khawf means fear. But khashya normally is a sort of feeling which is close to fear, which is caused by understanding greatness of something. Sometimes that greatness make you have some feeling like fear, but not necessarily fear. For example, when you meet a very great alim, if you meet your marja, for example, and you know him, you know about his piety and everything, you will have some feeling. You may not be able to speak, easily or whatever. But it's not that he is frightening you. He is not frightening. He's very, calm, very kind. Yeah? But you cannot speak. So this is a sort of feeling which is like fear, but different, and it's mostly caused by understanding greatness of that thing. Yes. Yeah, but maybe sometimes different also from awe, because awe can be used, I think, only for people, huh? Not for objects. You know, sometimes this also happens when you look at, for example, a very beautiful mountain. You have this feeling. Or when you look at the sea, ocean, you know, especially in afternoon, before sunset or just after, you have this feeling. And so, this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. The only people who have this feeling, a sort of awe and fear, or, you know, appreciation of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are ulama. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Okay? If you pronounce this ayah wrongly, the meaning will change. It's very important to know how to. Because if you say, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ, it means that Allah is frightened from ulama. But إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. It means that the only people who have this appreciation of greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are ulama. So, because the more you know, the more humble you become in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, وَخْشَوْا يَوْمًا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't mention expressly, for example, to fear or to have this feeling about akhirah. It says yawman, a day. But after giving these, you know, descriptions, it's clear that that day is day of judgment. That's akhirah, yeah? Which day is the day in which neither a parent would be sufficient nor a child. We realize that that is the day of akhirah. Yeah? Is it clear? Because in Arabic, yawman is something which is not specifically described. So with the descriptions which come afterward, we realize that day is day of akhirah. La yajzi. Yajzi in Arabic has different meanings. Sometimes it means to reward. Okay? Yajzi sometimes means to reward. And this is why one of the names of the day of judgment is Yawmul Jaza. Okay? Because it's the day in which people are rewarded. But here, Yajzi means to be sufficient. Okay? So, La Yajzi Walidun. And Walid means someone who is parent, maybe mother or father. Of course, usually for mother they use Walida, and for father Walid. But when you want to speak generally, you can use Walid for both. So, despite the fact that the parents love their children and they want to do everything to save them, but in Akhirah, they will not be able to do that for two reasons. First of all, they will be so busy with themselves that they will forget and neglect what is happening to their children. Okay? In dunya, sometimes this may happen, but normally, you know, especially mothers are so prepared to sacrifice that even if they endanger their life, they protect, you know, their children. But in Akhirah, even the mothers who have greatest passion for their children, will forget their children. Because the pressure is so high that they will forget. And the Quran, says that even, before the day of judgment, when it's going to be end of the world and Qiyamah starts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضَعَةٍ أَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ. Those mothers who feed their children and give them milk, they will neglect about their child. The pressure is so high that everyone will be busy with himself or herself. And we have this in many ayahs of the Quran. So this is one reason. And the second reason is that even if they want to pay attention and to save, they are not allowed to do so. They don't have power to do so. Because that person himself must have done something to save him. You cannot have, some, for example, group of people going around just to save people. The saviors are in this dunya. If you don't listen to their guidance, so in Akhirah also you will not be able to benefit from them. Because Akhirah is somehow manifestation of this dunya. Yeah? If in this dunya I listen to someone, so in Akhirah I will be able to have his shafa'ah. But if in this dunya I don't listen to this person, whatever he says or he tells me, I do opposite, then how can I have his shafa'ah in Akhirah? So it's very important that everyone must prepare himself, must not think that there will be someone, to save him, to help him, to give him, for example, some extra credits. It's only based on what we have done. Of course, what we have done may be grown by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may be increased, but you must have done something. Okay? لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا. The child also, the son or daughter also cannot do anything for their parents. إن وعد الله حق. Verily, Allah's promise is true. Which promise you think would be most relevant here? Yeah. The promise of having judgment and reward and punishment. The promise of having akhirah. So, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, to do this and you will be rewarded or punished, sometimes we don't take that serious. Either because we don't believe. I'm not talking about Muslims, I'm talking about human beings, because the ayah is addressing human beings. Some human beings, they don't believe in akhirah. Some people believe, but they don't take it serious. They don't take it seriously. They forget, they neglect. And it's very recommended that we always try to remember akhirah. About 1/3 of whole Quran is about resurrection. 1/3. It's many. And unlike what some people think that remembrance of death causes, for example, pain and sorrow and frustration and depression, this is not the case. Remembrance of death causes vitality and joy. Why? Because first of all, you appreciate the gift of life that you have. The gift of having, for example, your family, your friends, everything. And secondly, it helps to work hard so that you can achieve maximum good acts, you can optimally use this opportunity. Remembrance of death is very important. And this is why, we are recommended to visit, graves, to recite for them. And normally in Islamic architecture, of the cities, what they have been doing in the past was that they had cemeteries inside the city, so that people can easily go, near the mosque, or, if there is a shrine, or if not, even if there is no shrine or anything, inside the city, so that people can easily go and visit the graves, recite for them, by passing by, being reminded of Akhirah. But now, normally people, because of also population and for different reasons, because people want to forget Akhirah, so they put it in a very remote place. And this is something, new. But in the past, it's not like this. If you go to any historical cities, you will see that the cemeteries are inside the city. Anyway, remembrance of death and the day of Akhirah is very important and helps us to take Allah's promise seriously. Inna ba'dallahi haq. So this shows that if we have some problem in being pious, is because we have in the first place forgotten Akhirah. Yeah? If we had not forgotten Akhirah, we were able to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better. Okay. إن بعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. If Allah's promise about Akhirah is true, it definitely comes. So you must be worried, you must be careful, so that you will not be deceived by this worldly life. And also you must be careful not to be deceived by the Shaitan, by Iblis. Because these two, worldly life and Iblis, these two work hard to make you neglect Allah's promise that there is Akhirah. There is reward and punishment. Okay? When we look at our life, there are many, many things that can, preoccupy our mind and make us neglect Akhirah. When you are a child, you are busy with playing and, amusements. When you are a teenager, you are busy with yourself, your body, your dress, the way, you should dress your hair and, all these things. When you are young, your relation with other youths is very important, and you are thinking about marriage. Then you get married, you think about children. When you have children, you think, inshallah, when the day comes that they go to school. When they go to school, you say, when the day comes they go to, for example, higher education. When they get married, when they have children. So always there is something to make you think about another thing. And then the only time when it ends is when everyone leaves you, you are alone, and you are very old, and you are very also weak in your body. You don't have any, mood for worship or getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Akhirah will, come. This is a story that happens to many people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا لَعِبٌ وَلَهْوٌ وَزِينَةٌ وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. This is the nature of this life. لَعِبٌ means playing games. And the late Sheikh Baha'i, one of our greatest ulama, He said that these 5 refer to 5 states in our life. La'b means playing games, this is for children. And then lahv. Lahv means something which make you busy so that you can enjoy your time. Like for example, watching TV or playing with PlayStation or puzzles, all these things. These are lahw. There is nothing really beneficial you obtain from it. Just you are passing your time and you are somehow enjoying. And then zina, adornment. That's the 3rd stage of life. When you become young, you are very busy with not game or PlayStation or whatsoever. You are very busy with how I look. Do I look beautiful? Do I look, very, tidy and, all these things about my clothes, perfume, cosmetics maybe. So these things are very important for us. Some people, spend maybe 1 hour every day in front of mirror to, make themselves, look good. And then after that, we have 2 states. We have takathur and we have tafakhur. Takathur fil amwal wal awlad means you want to have more and more money and children. Even if it is more than what you may need, you have enough for yourself and for your children and grandchildren, but still you want more. And also you want to show to the people that, mashallah, I have very good children, my children are so and so. A sort of takathur, asking more children, and tafakhur. Tafakhur means you want to show others that you are better. You are proud of yourself and want others, to praise you. Because normally, people after they are young, they try to establish themselves. They try to have money and children, and then later they want to have everyone praise them. Oh, mashallah, you have been very successful in your life. Why? Because you have very large house. You have very good car. You have very good, saving. This is the sign of success. So this is the nature of life. Of course, this is not the problem of this dunya. There is nothing wrong in this dunya. This is our problem in misusing this dunya. Once a person was blaming dunya in front of Imam Ali. And maybe he thought that Imam Ali would be very happy because Imam Ali is, against dunya. So he said, I will blame dunya in front of Imam Ali. And then Imam Ali alayhi salam said, أيها الضام للدنيا المغرور بغرورها. Oh, the one who blames dunya, but he himself is deceived by dunya. There is nothing wrong with dunya. Dunya is the best place for worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and gaining rewards and Allah's pleasure. You cannot do these things in akhirah. In akhirah, you will just have what you have already, sent. In akhirah, we cannot, for example, do some, for example, services or help to the people, or, for example, go to shrine for ziyarah or whatsoever. Al-yawm amalun wala hisab, wa gadan hisabun wala amal. Today, you can act and there is no judgment, reckoning. And tomorrow, There will be judgment and reckoning, and there is no chance for any further act. Okay? So whatever we do there would be reflection of or expression of what we have done in dunya. Okay? So dunya is the best opportunity for us. Ad-dunya mazra'atul akhirah. Dunya is the farm in which you can grow good things for your akhirah. Yeah? So there is nothing wrong in dunya. There is nothing wrong in the creation of Allah. It's me who is misusing dunya. Okay? So when we say that you must be careful that dunya does not deceive you, it means that you must be careful that you will not be deceived by attractions and beauties of this life, so that you forget for which you are created. Okay? This is important. It's like, taking people, for example, to a very beautiful, mosque. So when the people go to mosque, instead of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they look at the wall and the dome and the carpet. So this is not the reason for which mosque is created and you have been taken there. You must be very careful. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, His promise is true, so do not let this physical life to deceive you. Ghurur means deception, to deceive. And then we have وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. We have gharur and we have ghurur. Ghurur means to deceive. Gharur means someone who deceives. And that's Iblis. Gharur, someone who deceives, and this is frequently. Because in Arabic we have ghar and we have gharur. Ghar means someone who deceives, and gharur is for exaggeration, means frequently deceives. Too much. Okay? You must be very careful so that the Satan will not be able to deceive you. So this shows that there are two main dangers, two main threats. One is the attractions of dunya. Even if the Satan were not there, it was possible that we would be attracted by dunya. Okay? And dunya could deceive us. In addition to that, there is a second threat. And that is, it's also possible to be deceived by Satan. Like the example of mosque, which I said. You go to the mosque, beauty of the mosque may preoccupy your mind. And in addition to that, there may be some people who speak about, their busyness, or, they want to draw your attention to, they start laughing, making jokes. This is the second problem. Okay? There are some people who don't let you to have your concentration. So we must be careful not to let this life deceive us, and we must be careful not to let this Iblis deceive us. Now I ask you, what about ourselves? Should we be worried about ourselves or not? The answer is yes. But this is already mentioned. Because the reason that this dunya can deceive us and Satan can deceive us is that we are deceiving ourselves. So that's the underlying factor. Because the Satan has no power to overcome our will. The Satan has no power to overcome our will. If I don't want to follow Satan, he cannot force me. This is what we read in the Quran. when people, blame Satan, Satan says, فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not blame me, blame yourself. He says, مَا كَانَ لِيَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ. I didn't have sovereignty or authority and control over you. I just invited you and you followed me. So if I myself didn't want to follow Satan, he couldn't force me. And also about dunya, I already mentioned that there is nothing wrong in dunya. So all problems go back to ourselves. You have heard the story of that person who had a dream of Satan, Iblis. And he saw that Iblis is preparing, some different ropes and chains for the misguiding people. And Satan was very also concerned, and he was trying to somehow lead and take the lead of Sheikh Ansari, but he couldn't. And the reason is that Sheikh Ansari was, suffering from poverty, and Satan was tempting that he borrows from the money that he had, but he refused. So Satan was always trying to, take lead of Sheikh, but he couldn't. Then this person asked, why these are different? Some are very thin, some are very thick, some are, being taken by chains. He said, depending on their power, the power of faith. If they are very powerful, I have to use chains because they want to escape. They don't follow me. So I need to use, very big tricks, chains. If they are not very strong, I use ropes. He said, what about me? Which one you use for me? Chain or rope? He said, I don't use anything because I just ask you to come and you come. There is no need to, have anything to tie around your neck. You just follow me. And sometimes maybe, we human beings are ahead from Satan. So this is in both cases, whether about فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا and وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغُرُورِ. In both cases, refer to the fact that I myself am the first person who is responsible for being deceived, whether by this physical life or by Satan. It's not the Satan or this physical life who are to be blamed in the first place. Okay, we stop here, and inshallah we will have one more ayah to inshallah study. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. If just one question.